Welcome to this week's edition of the Cheap Pop Podcast with K-Double and Alpha. Boys, take it away.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I hope not, because then that would mean bad things and there'd be police involved and people would be talking to me and asking me questions and people in suits would be coming indoors and all that. Yeah, no, I can't.
Come on now. Come on now.
Nah, man, nah. But what I do want to do is sit here with that man to my right, the man with the master plan, the man that is Alpha.
Mm-hmm. And we're back again once again to talk about comics in shit. We're going to be coming around talking about the new Batman movie that just smacked around HBO Max. And like we were just talking about off air, it's definitely fanning its own flames of hype by keeping it on HBO Max here, unlike Spider-Man No Way Home, which is going to be taking about 2 fucking years.
Damn near to reach Disney Plus. Unless I read the article wrong, it said summer 2023 is when we can expect to see it, and that's just not right. I'm sorry, there should be a 9-month gap at most between when the movie leaves the theaters and hits the streaming service. I believe that it should hit the streaming service as soon as it's done on its last week in the theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Once it's out of the theaters, there's no point in the fact that it shouldn't be available to be sold to the public at that point.
Yeah. Either way, you're making money off of it.
Yeah.
The people who have Disney Plus, you're making your chunk of money off of them because you're owned by Disney. And then the people who can't afford Disney Plus will still buy the DVDs.
Right.
So, and there's some people that'll still buy the DVD even with having Disney Plus. There's still special kind of people, man. But we are here.
Give me your thoughts on the movie. Give me a brush.
All right. An overall thought process or overall feelings about the movie was, number one, that motherfucker was long.
Yeah.
3 hours of movie to tell a story that we've been told 35 times before is just a little bit much. Number two, I thought there were good fight scenes. I just thought there wasn't enough of them. Thought the action sequences were pretty good when they were there, but there just wasn't enough of them. Too many dry spots in the movie. But overall, I give it a B+. A B+. I don't want to blame it for being too dark because the lights in the middle of my TV are kind of dimming, so that's why it was really dark. But it was a pretty dark movie. But in general, it gave us a good Batman. I thought Robert Pattinson did a good job. I think that they did a great job by staying away from the Bruce Wayne character as often as possible. You saw a lot more of Batman than you saw of Bruce Wayne in this movie, and I like that.
There we go. I agree.
So what are your overall thoughts, sir?
Yeah, straight out the gate of this movie, you can tell that they dip really hard into the world's greatest detective portion of Batman's stories. And personally, I thought that was awesome. If there's any time in any place to do a really slow, really methodical, 110% emo as fuck Batman movie, it's after the slow and methodical, painfully slowly paced, emo as fuck Joker movie.
Yeah.
And we'll get into how that could connect to this way later on. But I believe that, and of course, I reiterate, I was one of the people that was in the middle of the movie, damn, this is a long fucking movie. Even for me, I was one of the people, I love long movies, dude. I was one of the people that was vying for Endgame to be 4 or 5 hours long. Fuck yeah, give me more of that shit. But this movie, I felt every fucking second of it. And that's not to say that's an insult. It's just a testament to the way it's paced.
Right.
the fight scenes are very spread out and far and in between, but when they are there, they're very hard hitting, and Batman feels like a proper fucking menace again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of focus on arguably my favorite aspect of Gotham, and that's what I would call the gang system. And that there's a big focus on Two-Face isn't just a villain, he has the Two-Face gang, which is a mafioso group of people who dress like him. The Joker has the Joker gang. And this is where we see the birth of the Penguin taking over the Falcone family and making them into the Penguin gang, which was really fucking awesome.
You can't have a Batman story without having the Penguin folding on Falcone. You just can't.
Exactly. And I liked the attention to that part of the story because that usually doesn't get as much attention as Crime Alley, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to state this so we can get this conversation out the way before we, because this is kind of a meat and potatoes type conversation. We're going to get it out the way early. I like the story. I like the fact that they've already established that this story takes place in an alternate universe than the Batfleck, Zack Snyder universe. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
If you're going to go through all that trouble to separate it, to try to basically build a new Justice League, which it looks like they're trying to do, because they have no more Ezra Miller, because evidently he went crazy and is attacking people in Hawaii.
AWOL in Hawaii.
Like, he got a bad snort of cocaine and just went the wrong fucking way.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Have Grant Gustin right over there, and
man, and it would actually fit into exactly what I'm saying if you went with Grant Gustin.
Continue though.
But you know what I'm saying? So it looks like they're going to basically have to build a brand new Justice League, and it's going to sort of be built around this multiverse or this Robert Pattinson Batman. I think, and I've said this from the beginning, I said this from a long time ago, I personally believe that they would have been better served to bring back Affleck for this movie, make it the same universe, bring back Affleck as Old Man Bruce, and introduce Patterson as Terry McGinnis. And go with a Batman Beyond type storyline. Don't make him Robin. We don't need another Robin.
I want Terry McGinnis.
Make him Terry McGinnis.
Slim Batsuit.
Right. And then also what you have is now with him, you have the beginnings. Now you bring in Grant Gustin as the Flash. Then you bring in Supergirl instead of Superman, since you've lost Henry Cavill. You bring in Supergirl instead of Superman, or you bring up Superboy from Titans.
I was gonna say, or better yet, you can just bring in Superboy from the CW.
Superboy and Crypto, yes. And so, or you could bring in Jonathan Kent as Superboy. Yeah, you're right.
Jonathan Kent, yeah.
And so like you have so many other directions that you could go with that, other than making Patterson a younger version of what will become Old Man Bruce.
Yes, that is true.
Not to mention the fact that this is the 85th time that we've seen the Batman origin story. And I will give the movie credit. Unlike other Batman movies, it did not focus on that portion of Batman's story. It immediately set its timeline at 20 years after the murder of his parents and where he was at now.
It said, let's fucking rock.
Like, yeah, but I still think, like I said, it would have been better if you still use Affleck, you keep it in the Snyderverse, and you just make Affleck Old Man Bruce and bring in him as Terry McGinnis, and now he gets to be Batman when they go out and fight, and Affleck can make special guest appearances as the original Batman.
Exactly.
When necessary, when the threat is large enough, Affleck puts back on the suit. And you always have that.
But that takes away the portion of what Affleck vocalized to be like the part of being Batman that stressed him out the most.
Yeah.
You put him in the role of Old Man Bruce, suddenly that physicality that Affleck was stressing out about so much, that's not a problem anymore. He can just focus on acting flat out.
He's just Old Man Bruce. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so I just thought that they missed a great opportunity here to create a new Justice League with second generation stars, something that Marvel is already doing with a lot of their prime characters. We lost Iron Man, but he's not going to be replaced by another Tony Stark, even though we may see Tom Cruise where he's going to be replaced by Ironheart. You know what I'm saying? And so And so, like, you know, you lose Captain America, and he's not replaced by another Steve Rogers from another universe. He's replaced by Sam Wilson as the new Captain America. They're already moving into their second generations, and DC could easily start their whole thing there, jumpstart their whole thing there. Now you have a young Aquaman, you have Terry McGinnis as Batman, you have Wonder Woman who lives forever anyway. She's immortal, so it doesn't matter what age she is. You know what I'm saying? You get like I said, either Superboy, or you bring in a Supergirl. If you're not going to use Melissa Benoist, then you bring in a Supergirl for the DCEU, and now you have your Justice League of Supergirl, Batman, Superboy, or Supergirl, Batman, Grant Justine is the Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and you can bring back Bruce every now and then when necessary with Ben Affleck as Old Man Bat, and you set up a perfect Justice League. But I just think they missed the boat.
And you're right. And I was talking with a few people after I finished the movie, and I was like, yeah, the movie was really great, but I would have loved to see him as Terry McGinnis, not just to fit my wonderful little headcanon of seeing that finally put to live action. No.
Yeah.
Specifically speaking, look at the way Pattinson portrays himself and look at his hairstyle and everything about it, and tell me that wouldn't be fucking perfect if his name wasn't just Terry McGinnis.
Yep. 100%.
And he was not Bruce Wayne. And you told me the story of him coming up in his troubled youth and realizing that he's just a fucking clone, just like in Batman Beyond. That would have been great. And see, that's probably one of my few critiques of this movie. It was written amazingly. Everyone who acted in it killed it. They did amazing. But it only falls flat in the one portion where DC always seems to fall flat, and that's tying it all together.
Storytelling.
And now we're 2 for 2 with these amazing DC movies with this and Joker. And it's ironic that it's Batman and Joker, 2 of the most deeply and intrinsically connected characters in comic book history. And here you are making 2 movies, one after another, neither of them in connection to each other, but the best movies that DC has put out so far in terms of AAA value.
Yep.
But they're not connected at all. And that's just where DC seems to fall flat there.
And that is... DC falls flat with trying to connect anything. I was discussing this with one of my other co-hosts from another show, Swab, earlier today. And me and him were talking about, like, DC lacks that, pardon me for using his name as a noun or something like that, but they lack a Kevin Feige. They lack somebody to oversee the bigger picture and the longer story.
And tie the
when
whole
developing
together,
these, and tie it all together when telling these smaller stories in these individual movies. They lack that person. I've always thought that person should be Kevin Smith, just because I think he's somebody that could see that big picture and that storytelling, and he's read enough comic books. He knows enough about, how comic books are written. He's written enough shows and comic books himself that he understands that long-term storytelling in a way that Kevin Feige may not have had the comic book history that Kevin Smith has, but Kevin Feige knows. Obviously, he has a brain that can see the bigger picture and the long-term storytelling, because he's the ultimate one that ties these universes all together and ties these movies all together. And DC just lacks that. They go in so many different directions with different directors and so on and so forth that they don't really have a team that's working on a long-term vision and goal. They're kind of doing it movie by movie. And it's like, like, and some movies hit and some movies don't. But big props out to what's his name? He was Ulysses Claw. He was Ulysses Claw in Black Panther and other movies. And he was in Age of Ultron.
Oh, you mean the guy who played as fucking Alfred in Batman?
Alfred, yes.
I forget his name, but he did amazing as Alfred.
Yeah, Andy Sudeikis.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah. Like he did a hell of a job as Alfred.
He did great as Alfred. God, it's escaping me right now. Zoe Kravitz did amazing as Catwoman, as fucking predicted. Zoe Kravitz fucking aced it as Catwoman the whole way through. Every scene she was in, she fucking carried. Who was the guy who played Penguin?
Oh God, I know his name. I just Cole. The Cole Bauer?
Nope, not Cole Bauer. That's. Oh man, that's gonna kill me.
I'm gonna find out here in just a second.
God, I literally I said it just fucking like an hour ago off air. Kill me, pain, hatred, malice, even.
It's where
damn.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. That's who he is.
Yes.
They literally took the most handsome dude in the world and did like fucking 12 hours worth of makeup to make him into the most hideous fucking individual in the world. And he aced every part of this fucking movie. He was a slimy little piece of shit the whole way through. And when he rides out and starts marking the fuck out on the freeway, and then Pattinson pulls out the fucking Bat Camaro, the movie switches into fucking high gear. It's great. It's the best scene in the whole fucking movie.
Even though I forget the guy's name, I just saw it 2 seconds ago. The guy that played him on Gotham, Robin Lloyd Taylor. I prefer his Penguin. Sorry, man.
I'm a little biased because I fucking love him as an actor. I love that version of Penguin because he's such a little piece of shit. I love it.
He is. But yeah, so ultimately the movie gave us everything that we wanted. And like I said, I give props and credit immediately to the writers for skipping the whole this is how Batman became Batman, like jumping us forward. I did like the chemistry between Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson a little bit, but here was my one complaint. A lot of their more flirty scenes felt very forced. And I don't know if that was by design or if that was just because of a lack of true chemistry between the two. I don't know.
Personally, for me, I think it was a story beat. Because it's the way that Pattinson portrays his version of Bruce Wayne, from what I can tell, flat out, it's emo as fuck. But it's also, he's portraying this version of Bruce Wayne that's kind of socially inept. And I do like that, especially coming off of the heels of watching all these Batman movies. We have Bale, who is like this ultra Chad Bruce Wayne, walks into parties with a bitch in each hand and one behind him too.
American Psycho Bruce is what I call him.
Yeah, Christian Bale's version of Bruce Wayne is literally just American Psycho plus a stiff bat suit.
Right.
And then you have arguably like I had said before, last week I think I saw the Michael Keaton version of Batman, which is this weird humanizing, down-to-earth type of Bruce Wayne who hates the big pomp and circumstance. Mm-hmm. And now we have this socially inept Bruce Wayne. And I say that because he just doesn't want to be a part of anything, like any socializing, any of that shit. He doesn't want it. He's like, all right, I'll go home. Alfred's like, no, get the fuck out there. He was wearing sunglasses in his own Wayne Tower.
It's the Sheldon Cooper of Batman's. That's my spot. Anyway, but I want to say, big time though. I get what you're saying. Patterson. Now jumping back to the beginning of the movie. Here's one thing, real quick, that kind of threw me off, and this is where I kind of feel you on the noir, detective type Batman movie. Mm-hmm. When Jim Gordon's walking Batman in the Batman suit right onto a crime scene. Now that was something new for me because Batman's always gotten his clues. He gets to the crime scene first before the cops really get there, kind of scans it, gets the clues that he needs on video and then goes back and analyzes it. No, this Batman was walked right onto the crime scene by Jim Gordon himself.
Oh, yeah.
Leave him alone.
Oh yeah. And let's just dive into how fucking badass this version of Jim Gordon is real quick. Real fast. Let's just, for a few sentences, talk about how most versions of Jim Gordon find confrontation. They're like, all right, get back up and get the bat. Nah. There are multiple times in this movie where this Jim Gordon just whips out the fucking strap and that's it. And that's the end of it. This Jim Gordon just pulls out the fucking 9 and rolls for the whole latter half of the fucking movie.
Yep. I did love the fact
entire ending portion
of Batman passes out and wakes up in a room surrounded by cops. They was like he can't take all of us.
No,
basically, that was my scene of the movie. It was like what y'all really gonna do against Batman? What are y'all really gonna do?
And then not even including Jim Gordon with the hit me and run, bro.
Yeah, just hit me and run. Like, oh man, yeah, that was just wow. And a lot of people died in this movie. That was the other thing that got me. I was like, wow, a lot of people
died in this movie.
Yeah.
It harkens back to a lot to the Heath Ledger versions of Joker and the Jack Nicholson version of Joker, where they just straight up kill people.
Yeah,
like in this movie, just people die straight up.
Yeah,
and people just die.
And let's get to that right quick. I thoroughly enjoyed this version of the Riddler, yes. I did, even more than I enjoyed the Jim Carrey version. Maybe because I always saw the Riddler as more of a darker character than Jim Carrey played him. And so like I always thought the Riddler was a little bit less on the ha-ha and more on the dark side. So this Riddler really played to my thoughts of what I think the Riddler should be.
Yeah, a fucking terrorist. This is the Riddler that strikes fear. I'm really glad you brought that up as well, because my favorite thing about Batman is that every single one of his rogues gallery is based off of a different mental disorder. If you look it up, they're all a different type of mental disorder. Riddler is supposed to be OCD. Never is that taken as far as it is in any form of media as it is here in this version of the Riddler. He looks like a compulsive maniac, and it's great. He comes off like a proper threat to society, not just some joke anymore.
Now, I will say he stole the scene, and this is the last thing I'll bring up because we just passed time. The scene when he's in the when Batman comes and sees him in the whatchamacallit, or in the jail after they caught him, and he goes off on the whole diatribe about Bruce Wayne. And I turned to my girl and I go, for a good couple of minutes, that fool had me thinking he knew who Batman was. Like, and I know it was written like that. And I didn't even feel like a fool for falling for it because it was so well written.
He got you good though.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, this nigga knows. They gonna say
wait.
What? This is something different. And then when he started going up, I was like, oh, okay, he don't know. Never mind. But I love the way.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I love the way that they sold it also with you seeing kind of like the expressions in Bruce's like mouth, like where Bruce thought that he knew for a second, like, and then when Bruce realized he didn't, he's like, okay, and moved a little closer. Like, yeah. But go ahead.
No, they killed that whole scene. Shit. Oh no. Yeah, the thing as a tiny tidbit, even cooler, is as a hardcore fan, knowing that one of the few people who's able to discern Batman's true identity really fucking quickly, one of the two characters is either Bane and the Riddler. Mostly because both of them are held at genius level intellect.
Right. Well, it does take a high genius to figure out that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Well, really, no, it don't. People just don't care. No. But all right, we'll end it on that and jump over to the next half, in which we'll be talking Moon Knight with Poe. That's something that I just found out. I didn't realize that Oscar Isaacs was Poe from the Star Wars flicks. I was like, that's the same dude. Yeah, I was missing it the whole time. I knew I rescued him. I know I recognized him. I know I recognized him from somewhere, but then I didn't notice until I looked him up that I was like, oh shit.
Well,
he's from wow.
On the second half of the show, I'll hit you with another one and who he also plays. So we'll come back around with that one.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on 4 Aces Presents Radio Network, or watching us here on YouTube. And we'll check y'all out in about 2 to 5 minutes after a quick break. Peace. You're listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you may find your favorite podcasts. Imagine this. It's Friday night. You're at home wishing you can listen to an amazing playlist of some of your favorite music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Pop, rock, whatever. Then take out your favorite podcast listening device and tune in to KD5P, otherwise known as K-Double's Fifth Period Music Class. Every Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, K-Double brings you some of your favorite tunes live on the Four Aces Presents Radio Network on Live 365. Hey y'all, what's up? This is Double KK Double, as always, here to let you know about one of the newest shows on the Four Aces Presents Radio Network, a sports debate show by the name of The Classroom. That's right. Every Sunday at 3 p.m., Four Aces Presents brings you The Classroom, classic debate starring your boy Double K, taking on the likes of O'Malley, The Duel, Suave, and others. So tune in every Sunday at 3 to check us out and listen to what the hottest debate topics in sports that week are. Peace. And we are back. Back. I couldn't think of anything funny, so I just said the word back. Okay, so there we go. Y'all, there's been this, let me think of the best word to say this. Oh, bring the mic real close here. Complete and utter mind fuck. As Alpha would say, they have brought the mind fuckery. And I am here for it. For those of you who do not know what we are talking about the Disney Plus series, Moon Knight. Complete and utter mind fuck.
It's been a long time coming, building up to this show. And I'm really fucking juiced that it's Oscar Isaacs in this role. We've seen him in a lot of things personally. For me, my personal favorite role he's ever done is in like one of my favorite movies ever. Probably my favorite movie ever is a movie called Sucker Punch. He's the villain in that movie. Okay. A lot of people also know him as, where you had mentioned him, Poe. He was Poe, right? He was Poe Dameron in fucking Star Wars. Right about that.
The cocky pilot.
Most importantly, he was also fucking Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes. That was the other one that blew my mind when I found it out. I was like, what? Yes.
That's Apocalypse.
In one of the worst X-Men movies ever.
That was him under all that fucking blue paint. That was him. I love Oscar Isaac, so he's a great actor, and he's killing it in this. But we are indeed talking about Moon Knight, where the superpower in question here is schizophrenia.
Pretty much, dude. Like, I want to be able to like black out from stress and wake up with everybody who was threatening me on the ground, like
dead and bleeding and inside out.
Yeah, like, all right,
and so
don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me. What we know is that Mark Spector was at one point a mercenary and was left for dead in the Egyptian desert. And instead of dying, he was chosen as the next avatar of Khonshu, the god of the moon. And so now he serves among the league of all the other avatars of crazy Egyptian lords. And as a result is the Hand of Vengeance. It's important to denote that Mark Spector, the Moon Knight, has no fucking powers. He has no powers. His powers is the fact that he has what is currently known as DID, dissociative identity disorder, otherwise known as multiple personality disorder. Yeah, it's fucking great. And it's important to denote that each personality has a different facet of the Moon Knight power.
Yes. Which is shown in one particular scene where he becomes Moon Knight, but Steven's in control instead of Mark. And so instead of the actual Moon Knight garb, he becomes Mr. Knight and gets this all white suit with like a little symbol on it, a little Moon Knight symbol on it, and it is the most dapper thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Exactly.
I love it. You know,
Exactly.
but I guess the name of that character, according to my research, is Mr. Knight.
Yes, that is indeed the reference to Mr. Knight. And see, now this is where shit bridges in a little bit. In the comics, it's a little more simple, but in the show, it's a little more on the nose and a little more subtle.
Yeah.
But Moon Knight will walk into a situation, and given the situation, subconsciously or of his own volition, will switch to whatever personality is best for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Spector is obviously a little more bullheaded, but as a mercenary, can whip up just about anybody's ass with his version of the Moon Knight suit, which is the flagship version, which is actually, it looks the way it does because out of a fit of insanity, he looks at it and was like, oh, cool, I want to be Batman. So the guise of Mark Spector and the suit of the Moon Knight in that form was created.
Nice. Oh man, like, and let me tell you this. The show starts off with a quick pace because you got this guy that you think is just a nobody and Steven and he's just going to work, and then all of a sudden he's running from a jackal and beating up a jackal in the white suit, and
don't get me wrong, that's fucking awesome. But more importantly, in the first episode, it focalizes from Stephen Grant's point of view the subconscious personality within Mark Spector, who is not aware that he is an altered personality, going through his day and his daily life with chunks of his days missing.
Completely.
And so he's like, all right, yeah, cool. Yesterday was Wednesday, right? And somebody's like, sir, today's Saturday. And he's like, excuse me, I went to sleep on Wednesday. And so bits and pieces of his life are missing, and he's waking up in places he wasn't going to sleep. It's fucking awesome from the perspective of him. And they only do it for the first episode. They blip out every single fight scene that he gets into because he switches into the other personality. Yep. So we skip these fight scenes, and so we just see from the perspective of Steven these on and off light switch type moments of experiencing shit. And it's a really fucking dope way to tell a story.
And you have him blanking out and coming back. And the thing that I liked about it most was that he got to the point where he was so paranoid, he tied himself to his bed. Like, he chained himself to his bed so as to not sleepwalk, I guess. He had no clue what he was doing, and it was great. And they didn't really bring you to the thing where they were switching back and forth between him and Mark until I think like episode 3 is where we really begin to see
do it. Yeah, like episode 3.
Yeah. You know, and so like once you start seeing it, it's like, that's what happens to him. Okay. Mm-hmm. He goes batshit crazy.
He goes batshit crazy.
But no, like in the real of it, like even his freak out scenes, like when he's at the storage unit and all of a sudden here comes Khonshu down the hall, like, man, that would have freaked me out too. Like nah, man, nah, like that's not my nightmares. Nah, man, I don't need to be seeing some shit like that before bedtime. I gotta watch Moon Knight in the morning.
That's so good. That's so good.
But it is hilarious though that this man just had days disappear, and like man, I'll tell you the one scene I felt bad for him. Mm-hmm. When he's sitting at the steakhouse waiting for the chick, and he calls her, and she's like, "What the f are you talking about? Like, what? It's Sunday. Like, we were supposed to go out on Thursday. You stood me up." He's like, "No, I did.
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday."
And it's hilarious, but it's sad to see that level of torment because it's a complete displacement of time that he doesn't understand.
Exactly.
It's such a really interesting way to tell the story from one personality's perspective of multiple personalities. And as we go along, things are only going to get more crazy. I hope that this bridges into other places because it's important to note that Moon Knight is a part of the Marvel Knights, which is the conglomerate of bloody, crazy fucking anti-heroes consisting of Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Doctor Strange, fucking all those bastards over there.
We may get that. All the players are in play.
Exactly.
Disney has already said that they're trying to revive all of the old Netflix shows now that they have the rights to them again.
I would hope. And as a small note, Ethan fucking Hawke as a villain is a surprising role going forward in the MCU.
Yeah,
but it's great. He plays this perfect kind of like just.
I'm trying to help you, son.
Why
why won't you let me help you?
You know that scene in Futurama when Bender's made of wood and he's like, the world will know our peaceful ways by force. That's Ethan Hawke.
That's Ethan Hawke. Now, have you seen episode 4? I'm going to say that before I dive into this.
Yes.
Okay. So episode 4, again, they proceed to go for the complete and total mind fuck by presenting you with a billion clues that say this has all been in Mark's head. Mark's actually in a loony bin. Mm-hmm. His wife is just another patient there.
No. His wife is his caretaker.
Yeah, his caretaker. And Ethan Hawke is the therapist.
It's the shrink.
Complete and total mind fuck.
And I'm glad you brought that up because it's important that whole dream sequence, every single fucking part of it is a clue.
Yeah.
Every 100%. Single part of it is not only a clue for his character, but it's where the show is going to go. And I'm going to leave this whole section of our talk with this one clue.
What's that?
Rewatch that whole dream sequence over and over and over again.
Okay.
And connect it to a scene in episode 2 when after they kill someone, both Mark and Steven have this interaction where they're like, did you do that? And Mark's like, no. And Steven's like, I didn't do that.
Okay. Because all I know is we saw the Moon Knight doll. We saw him strapped to the chair. We saw the wife. Oh God, I forgot what else was there.
There's a sarcophagus
that
Steven was trapped in.
Now, I guess supposedly.
And then there's a movie playing.
Oh, yes. We'll say, hold on, we'll get to that in just a second. Because I can't think of the name of it, but we'll say Oscar Isaacs supposedly has a brother. Well, not supposedly, he has a brother. Now, I guess looks close enough to him that scene with Mark and Steven hugging each other was those two hugging each other.
Oh shit, they Paul Walkered it. That's really good.
Right. So check this out. I guess evidently his brother got the nickname Mork Sphincter around the thing instead of Mark Spector.
That's really funny.
Yeah, so that was just a little side note on the article I read there. Mork Sphincter. But yeah, no, like that scene blew my mind too. I was like, wait a minute, why the fuck are these niggas hugging each other? Like, ain't they supposed to be two different people in the same head? Like, what the hell?
What's going on?
And then we end with a scene where they open up a door and it looks like the elephant from Sing 2. I expected her to break out into song, but instead all she said was hello.
The episode ends there.
Yeah. But yeah, and I've done a little research. I guess that there is an Egyptian god that has that form, paws for hands, and then the hippopotamus head and all that. So we'll find out who they are in the next episode of Moon Knight coming up here in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I tell you, I am thoroughly impressed with how they've done this entire thing. Even, okay, favorite scene so far.
Shoot.
The wife and Mark are going down into the tomb right after Steven kisses her, or the girl and Steven are going down to the tomb right after Steven kisses her. And he's sitting there. He goes, what the, and hits himself. And here's the thing. I want a Disney short with that scene and what happened after that punch, because they go down and completely focus on the girl, and then all of a sudden you see Steven come tumbling down into the hole. I want to see what the hell happened there.
I want to know what up there.
Because I am pretty sure Mark took control of the body and started whipping his ass.
The The best part of this whole show is the conflict between them over a wife that they share.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I expected her to come back up and get the Jim Carrey scene from Lion Liar. What are you doing? I'm kicking my own ass.
Kicking my own ass. That's too good.
Man.
Fucking hell.
It was great though.
Yeah, no, Oscar Isaacs is it's a lot like when we talked about the guy who was in Split, forget his fucking name.
Oh my god.
When he expresses the different personalities with the smallest mannerisms, the positions of his eyes, the way that he moves his hands around, the way that he talks, simple little things like that. It's not just about like the English accent. No, there's a lot of little ways that you can tell that he sets into the different characters depending on the personality. And that's really fucking impressive on the part of Oscar Isaac.
100%. He's a hell of an actor. Like I said, you look at the different, to me, an actor is really shown to be a solid actor when he takes on different roles. When you can't typecast him as one particular character. Not to say that the actors who were typecast, Hector, aren't good actors.
Hector,
you know what I'm talking
times.
about, Hector. Yeah, Hector, pretty much.
Hector 26 times.
Hey, dude, at least you got 26 jobs. I can't knock you for playing basically the same character. But you know what? It worked for you. But
Hector is the canonical bridge between Bruce Almighty and Fast and Furious. Never forget.
Pretty much. But the actors that get to play multiple different roles and become multiple different people for you, I think that there's something special about them.
Absolutely.
You know, the Jim Carreys, which by the way, I went and saw Sonic 2 last week and it was a pretty damn good.
Ooh,
I was happy with it. Really, really well done. Plays very big homage to the video game, like in
to
a lot of
OG
ways.
Sonic 2, actually.
Yep. So, and there's a very special hedgehog that was introduced in the post-credit scenes that I can't wait for. But anyway, but actors like Jim Carrey, actors like Will Smith, I don't care what anybody says about him. Fuck all that shit about the Oscar slap. The man's a hell of an actor. And he's proven it for years and years and years and years that if it involves acting, he can do it. Anne Hathaway has proven on many of occasions that she can be.
Fucking Hathaway is an all-star actor.
Whatever she needs to be.
Only on my most recent watching of the Christopher Nolan trilogy do I realize how fucking good of a Catwoman she really, really is.
True. And for me, my favorite role with her, I'll be honest with you, is Les Mis. I thought she
fuck up her role.
Les Mis. She just destroyed her. Who was it? Wolverine. Hugh
Jackman sings and Russell Crowe. Like Russell Crowe's scenes. Oh my god.
Yes. Like I said, fucking Les Mis.
Les Mis, bro.
But
anything that's Broadway related with Hugh Jackman, don't fucking sleep on it.
Don't.
Ever.
The man's a hell of an actor. I still haven't seen The Greatest Showman. I plan on watching that soon. I plan on watching that soon.
Who I love musicals to death, bro. So swear to fucking God. Greatest Showman's probably in my top 3 favorite.
Nice.
Greatest Showman is magical. Check that shit out.
See, for me, I try to fit in like I like number 5 would probably be Rocky Horror Picture Show. It depends. It depends. Are we talking about quality of show or are we talking about infectious soundtrack? Because there's been a couple of movies that weren't really good movies, but their soundtracks were just so fun. Like Grease. Like I love Grease, but Grease is not a really good movie. Like Grease it's a great love story.
Yeah.
And it's a great love story told through music, but Grease is not really a good movie.
Grease is nothing new when it comes to nuance and storytelling. It does nothing new. It's classic golden age storytelling. It hits the same beats as everything else, but it hits them damn fucking well.
Exactly. But yeah, like musicals, like I'll put it to you like this: like Dr. Horrible would be a top 5 like musical soundtrack of all time for me. Like just songs that make you remember not only the songs but the characters and what those characters were, and it makes you vividly draw back to scenes in the movie based off of just hearing the songs. those are strong, and Les Mis is one of those.
Les Mis is one of those. For me, Little Shop of Horrors is that's my one.
I just showed my daughter the original the other night, and she loved it.
I'm the biggest mark in the world for two things, bro. For fucking for Rick Moranis,
mm-hmm.
and I forget his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. He was in the Four Tops, voice of Oogie Boogie, and Audrey
oh,
too.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now, but I saw it as soon as
on the tip of my tongue.
Over, yeah.
But yeah, the guy from the Four Tops. I love him, and I love Rick Moranis to the moon and fucking back. So like, Little Shop of Horrors has always been my movie, dude.
I'll be honest, it had been so long since the last time I saw Little Shop of Horrors, I had forgotten a lot of the movie. Like, as much as I love the movie, I had forgotten exactly how extremely cheesy the song Suddenly Seymour was. Like,
oh yeah,
I love it. I love it for its cheesiness, but that song is one of the cheesiest things you'd ever hear.
It is. It's so cheesy.
But it fits. It fits the characters. It fits the movie. It fits the flow of the movie. And Steve Martin as the evil dentist was just.
Oh my God. Steve Martin singing his ass off as the evil dentist with a fucking leather jacket and a bike.
Oh, and a bike that just drops out of nowhere, like
comes out of butt fuck nowhere. And then Bill Murray nutting, getting his fucking teeth ripped out of his mouth. It's the little shit like that. Oh, and you know what else? You know what's my favorite fun fact about that movie is it still knocks my favorite knock people asses off?
What?
The three female singers that that follow the whole story. One of those is Chris's mom from Everybody Hates Chris.
Right. And the other one is Gina and Pam.
And I was going to say, the other one's Gina and fucking Pam. And when I learned that, I was like, what the fuck?
real quick fun fact before we wrap this up. Gina, who is Trisha Arnold is Pam. Gina, I can't remember who the actress name is now. Tisha Campbell. Mm-hmm. Tisha Campbell and Trisha Arnold have been best friends like damn near their whole lives. Like the girls that play Gina and Pam, like they've been best friends like damn near their whole lives. And that was one of their first acting roles that they had gotten together, was Little Shop of Horrors.
I believe it.
But yeah, like that movie is classic in every way. I'm planning on exposing her to The Fifth Element next time that she comes over.
Ooh, do that. Fifth Element is so good. Such a good way to tell stories. If you haven't, make sure that make sure that she was able. If you showed it to her, you said Little Shop of Horrors?
No, not yet. Oh, no, I showed her Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah.
Okay. Well, make sure if you've already shown that to her. If you haven't already, make sure she sees the alternate ending to Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, okay.
Because there's the alternate ending that they shot with Rick Moranis and everything. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, where the plant wins.
The plant wins. Yeah. Only because the song is bitching too.
I now completely forget. Now you got me wanting to go look up. I know there was an alternate ending to Rocky as well.
There was.
Like, and I've seen both. But yeah, I just forget what the alternate ending was, what the original versus the alternate ending was. Yeah, that's a movie that just, I don't know why they tried to remake it in the early 2000s. It wasn't.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bruno. Yeah, just like we don't talk about that movie by that M. Night dude that he never made.
I knew you were gonna shoot for that.
He never made that movie.
All that matters is the best part of Moon Knight being, you're the next Avatar. You mean like the blue people? No, like the anime.
That was great. Like the anime. Like, yeah, acknowledge me.
It's so good. It's fucking great, man.
Oh man, for sure. Well, next week we're gonna talk a little. I believe we'll probably.
Do we have Backlash?
Yes, we do. We can either wait till Monday to record. Well, we'll talk about that after we get off here, but we'll be talking Backlash one way or another. So y'all can see us next week right here on either YouTube or on 4Aces Presents Radio on Spreaker.com, or you can catch some older episodes once I get them back up again on the Live 365. So 4Aces Presents Radio. Yeah. That'll do it for us for this week, Alpha. As usual, sir.
Yep.
Why don't you take us home?
Oh, my people. Thank you for joining us. You know where to find us if you want to catch our other stuff. Thank you for talking some Cape shit with us and come around next week talking some wrestling shit. It's gonna be a great old time. Be safe and peace out.